Well, because you have more than one of them and they've got guns, but in 2021, there was a law passed called the William.
They should say, I'll wait till the police comes. And
there was a law passed in 2021 called the William Thornberry National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2021, which states that it is illegal for them to not, that they have to show identification.
That's what I thought. We need to do some research because
passed this law in 2021 requiring all federal agents, including those in ICE, to wear visible identification, including the government agency they represent when undertaking crowd control during protests.
Ooh, that sounds official, Marshall.
That sounds like protest. At the very end, the qualification is protest, not arrests, not apprehensions. So
yeah. This is a big issue. It really is, because that's one of the reasons that's what is that they're doing on purpose to create fear and to create a provocation. We know what the trick is. Anyway, look who's here. Charlotte's here. Came in the last minute. Elle, did you want to finish up? Did you want to do your closing comment?
Yeah, the only other thing I was going to say was that over the weekend I was watching different reels and listening to people talk about this. One thing that I saw was somebody who was posting a particular phone number that immigrants can call to reschedule their appointments to have them be virtual. And they wanted everybody to have that number and to let immigrants know, so that instead of them having to go down for their appointment and then risk being snatched up, there apparently is a loophole where they can supposedly.
That's great.
Would be fantastic. And then the other thing I heard people talking about was to just really go out on a limb and go there with your immigrant friends to their appointments so that they have representation with an ally.
Well,
the last two things I wanted to add.
That's what Lander did in New York, remember?
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, which I think is great. And I think that's what we have to look forward to. That's what the confrontation is going to be. There will be confrontations there. There have been people, I think in Minnesota, I saw this, where there were groups of neighborhood people who would get into their SUVs and follow the ICE cars honking to alert people that they're in the neighborhood. And that was an interesting way to, there were some interesting videos coming out of that. It's just, the whole thing is disturbing. Charla, why don't you say hello and also give us your closing comment, pearls of wisdom?
Hi guys. Sorry, been busy.
Yeah, we've been missing you.
Yes, I've been busy with my apprentice.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Pearls of wisdom. Well, I'm so glad to be in the room with my fellow patriot. And yeah. But in terms of pearls of wisdom, oh my gosh, I don't really have any, because I think right now, I think we're all in a state of shock, and I think, with the Supreme Court essentially killing the whole checks and balances system by obviously empowering Trump, I think that we have seen the death of the United States of America. That's my pearls of wisdom, and so I know it's kind of depressing, but it's the reality, unfortunately. I mean, the erosion of our civil rights, I mean, we have none. The erosion of freedom of speech, we have none. With Trump now, I just read a headline yesterday that Trump was going to try to force journalists to reveal their sources in, with regards to the Iranian attack. So there goes, if he pursues this, and if the Supreme Court and if this goes all the way to the Supreme Court, we are witnessing the death of freedom of press. So pretty much the United States is dead. And that's pretty much my pearls of wisdom.
Yes. Okay, Stephanie wants to come up for last minute. Thanks, Charla. By the way, Charla, you know I'm coming to New York, so I get to see you in person.
I know. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. That's
Elizabeth
Dr. Francine,
Warren.
if you want to go ahead.
Yeah, I do. Elizabeth Warren has just posted that they're in the part of the Votorama where they're adding things to the bill.
Right.
So we don't know what's in this bill, guys. This is so unfair to the citizenry. But you know, even the Congress people, the senators, don't know what's in this bill, and they haven't started really voting on it yet. So
Right.
so we're in the dark, and we're going to be in the dark until the bill goes through, and then, you know, then we're going to be in the repeal and replace
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, no, I think that's what seems to be happening is that people in general are assuming that this is going to go through, and that after it happens, you know, we're going to do a lot of complaining about it. Our favorite billionaire Nazi, Elon Musk, seems to not like it very much.
He hates it.
So, yeah, which is interesting, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. But in the meantime, I guess just keep watching. Francine, did you want to add anything else to your closing comment?
No, because I think we don't know anything yet. That what they're going to do is keep massaging this until it passes. You know, and we that means that we won't know, and we don't know, and oh fuck it, you know. I mean, it's like
No, I know. This comes into this whole idea of exhaustion. It's exhausting.
we are physically exhausted.
Yeah, I think we are. Steve, closing comments, pearls of wisdom. I mean, everybody knows that. We don't want to leave that, but he is.
I focus on the Supreme Court, and we have a lawless Supreme Court. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
They're not gonna stop him.
I know. That's for us so frustrating because I also thought at least there was some sort of resistance at all, but there just isn't. There just isn't. They're gonna codify whatever it is that he wants to do, and it's a shame. All right, so Stephanie's here. That's right, Stephanie. Hello, goodbye, and then Rick. I guess you're the caboose. Go ahead, Stephanie.
Everybody, just a quick couple of updates on protests. So the Tesla takedown I've been talking about, I've been attending on and off. They just did it's a showroom that hasn't opened yet in a small town in Silicon Valley, and I wasn't there, but I saw the sign and the pictures. They had a banner that said "Store closing, everything must go." So it was kind of presented in a humorous way, but I thought that was a different twist for a model showroom that hasn't opened. And then another protest I went to last week was a new experience for me, but it was against Palantir, and they're the company founded by Peter Thiel. They are in Palo Alto, and they do a lot of products, but they do a lot of data stuff, and they also produce spyware. And the federal government contracts with them to identify terrorists. And our understanding is that ICE uses that spyware to identify supposed, quote unquote, criminal immigrants, that kind of thing. So there has been an organized protest against their Manhattan office. It was on Thursday, and then the Palo Alto building business was on Thursday, and the previous week was their LA office. Their headquarters in Colorado. I haven't heard anything about that. But this where organizers came out from New York for this, and San Francisco. All the organizers that were there were clearly people it was very strategic. All of them were masked. They wore scarves or masks. They had a lot of safety officers, so to speak. They, were in black, but they all had neon yellow or orange vests on. The company had parked moving trucks in front of their front door so that traffic couldn't see the protest. The protesters, I was one of them, but I wasn't in the planning, but the organizers put up a banner that said Palantir something about ICE, and they had put 2 ladders up and they attached it to the balcony of the building. And then they had the Raging Grannies there, which is a singing protest group that goes to events. And they sing, they're older women who sing different kinds of protest songs. They go to all kinds of issues, but they were invited to come and sing. So while they were singing, the employees of Palantir grabbed the banner and pulled it to the thing before anyone could catch it.
Go to johnkitover.com.
So then the organizers had everyone marching around the truck so that the traffic, it was lunch hour, so the traffic could see all the protesters. They had really organized chants. It was just the most strategic, focused, targeted protest I've ever been to, with using some marginal illegal techniques. We blocked traffic, which was illegal, but there were no police. There was 2 police cars that kind of passively drove by during the 2-hour thing. And this was in front of the Palantir office. Then after that, they moved over to the Palantir cafeteria and event room, which was like 2 blocks away. And then they got really much more, I don't know what you want to describe it, assertive, aggressive, but the protesters started banging on the windows of the glass, using the megaphones, inviting the employees to come and join us, quit the company, talking about how evil their work was, blah, 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 blah. Gluing, or not gluing, but taping signs to their building. And just a lot of hyping up the protesters, telling them what was going on. The goal of this was they said the stock of Palantir is inflated, falsely inflated. And the goal is to stop the hiring pipeline. They're trying to hire a lot of people right now from college. They said these college students don't really know what they're getting into. We want to stop this hiring pipeline for the company. So that's kind of their goal. And then they have some intel, someone on the inside who notified them that the employees were sent home for the day. So they considered that a victory. So anyway, just wanted to tell you, now, some people feel like this is a misplaced protest, that we shouldn't be protesting a company that just produces a product the government wants or other people want, but we should really be protesting the people that set the policy to buy these products. So my son being one of them, saying you should be protesting in front of the home of the decision makers that decide to hire Palantir's products. That's more effective than protesting Palantir, because any company can make a product the government could buy, So anyway, I just wanted to give you that was a new kind of protest level I'd been to. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
everybody work on your health. So, because if you're not healthy, we don't have you, and we need you to be healthy. And that's it. Thanks.
That's true. Thank you. We gotta hydrate, as Empress Ronnie says. No, I think it's really good for us to detail some of the resistance and how it's being done creatively. And we do. We need to make sure that.
More what?
Excuse me. Say again, Francine. Not hearing it. Anyway, let's go. We're already to the top of the hour, so